Ongoing labor dispute involving the city of Quincy and the union representing Quincy Police has come to an end. Officers and supervisors will receive a 2.75% retroactive raise for the 2021-22 contract year and 3.5% raises each of the following 3 years. The effects of compounding means officers and supervisors will see a cumulative 13.9% raise. The two sides were in negotiations for more than 2 years. The case went to an arbitrator through the Illinois Labor Relations Board as well.
Well, I think it's been a long, arduous process. It's good to have it behind us so that we can start looking forward and doing the work that we need to do and not have the distractions. I hope that with the ruling and the way that it went, that we will see some morale improvement.
And Quincy Mayor Mike Trope declined to comment directly on the binding arbitration. Instead, he released a statement saying, quote, "The attorneys are looking at it and the city cannot speak more about it until it's been discussed further internally and brought to the city council."